Hi, my name is Liz. I'm a lead product designer here at Mark43, focused on mobility for first responders. I've worked here for about 4 years now, and in my time here, I've been able to work on multiple products within our platform, from our records management product, our dispatch software, and then focusing on first responder solutions for mobile devices, from event response all the way through data collection on scene and how that integrates with the rest of our platform. So the question that I have is, what is Mark43's grand vision and goals? I think this is a really critical question for Mark43 because our goals and vision and mission really drive everything that we do and the type of people that we hire. When we're interviewing candidates or seeking new employees, we are looking for people that are eager to make an impact and people that can think very critically about the current state of the public safety industry. So our vision as a company is to become thought leaders in the public safety space and really redefine how public safety software should be serving its users and the communities that our users work in. So to talk about this in a little bit more depth, I want to talk about some issues in the current public safety market space and how those issues tie into goals that we have as a company and how the design team directly impacts those goals. So one of the issues in this public safety market space is a lot of our competitors, they're kind of end-of-life systems, and because of that, they don't change and they don't iterate or develop with new processes or think about taking users' feedback and iterating with that. So one of our goals as a company is to build our products with users and constantly iterate on what we've built to continually improve them. So design is very involved in this, and one of those main drivers is doing research with our users. We do all sorts of research, including surveys, interviews, moderated and unmoderated user testing. We do research with users both remotely via video calls. We also have the privilege of going on site with our users to do ride-alongs or sit-alongs and observe them in their environment and really get a better understanding of how they're working and what are the issues that they're facing. So this research is really important and ties into the second point, which is our agile approach to building products, which means that we don't just design something, build it, and we're done, but we continually look for feedback on the features that we push out and improve that time after time with our users' input. Another issue in the public safety space is departments that have outdated or poor processes or practices in place that don't enable them to work very efficiently or change with the times. So one of the goals of Mark43 is being able to suggest these optimized workflows and best practices that departments should be following to work more efficiently, to handle data, to change with the evolving technology in the public safety space. So of course, research again ties into this, being able to talk to and research with departments from all over the US and departments internationally. We can find the different ways departments are working and identify a common pattern or ideal workflow that we would want them to use to really optimize their time or make workflows as efficient as possible. So that's day-to-day within the product, one way that we can do that. Another way that we do that in Mark43 is our company sponsors speaker series, which have been really, really exciting, and everyone at the company has been very involved in participating in these and learning from these. So we host speakers from the industry. It could be police officers with different backgrounds. It could be police chiefs talking about industry patterns and standards. We also have some organizations like the NYU Policing Project that have come in and talked about what is the role of software in policing world and how do we impact change through software that we build. So I think this has been a really great opportunity to learn about what's happening in the industry from people that are working in the industry, and also take our learnings and apply them into the products that we're building. The third issue in the public safety space that I'll bring up is departments and the software that they use don't facilitate the collection of clean data or have good data handling processes. So one of our goals as a company is to collect clean data and make that data accessible to our users after it has been collected. So design plays a pretty big part in this in terms of when building a product or a new feature, using data best practices and working with engineering to make sure that data is entered in the most clean way possible. So after that data is entered, we then have the opportunity to display data back to users to give them the most context when, let's say, responding to an event, having the most up-to-date historical context or related details about a location helps them respond more effectively and safely. But we have to be careful about what data we display and how we display that data. As a software company, we're not suggesting what an officer should do or creating bias in the officer, but rather just presenting the information in a way that they can be educated and make good decisions. Once we have that data entered cleanly into our system, we can then pull that data through our analytics platform and enable department leads and city leads to access that data, pull stats, and understand what's happening in their department and in their cities so that they can make data-informed decisions. They can then build transparency and trust in their communities and create more engagement between police departments and communities. And I think that's a really important impact that data can have in the policing industry and in the communities that they serve. So one project that I worked on that ties really closely into all of this and moving into this thought leadership place as a company is working on handling post-conviction relief processes and workflows within our records management software. So the current process across departments, at least in the US, is very much paper-based and a very manual process. So they're keeping stores and stores of records in their departments. A records admin is going through and like crossing things out with a Sharpie. So this obviously is very time intensive, prone to errors, and also isn't a great way to handle data by like pulling the data out of the system and literally sharpieing through it. And because there are poor practices around this, it's really poor handling of people's private information. So this project is a key example of how we work towards being thought leaders in this space by researching with our users and iterating on the features that we're putting out, improving workflows and practices within departments to move them into the modern age of policing best practices, and also focus on clean data entry and best practices for data handling so that we're optimizing what departments have access to, but also protecting citizens and communities' information. So this is just one of the examples of the ways that designers get to work on projects that directly impact our company's vision and work towards being thought leaders in the public safety space to make an impact for our users and the communities that they serve.